All right.
Hi, everybody. Anna and Jana here with Anchor Mind and Body, and we have joining us on this Zoom call today one of my mentors in the Pilates field. I absolutely love this beautiful woman. Her name is Cheryl Brown-Forehand. Cheryl, you know I love you and I appreciate
Yeah,
you.
I love you too.
Oh, thank you. And Cheryl's background, I don't need to say a lot about that today, but she is a master trainer with Balanced Body Pilates. And so she is the one who gets in the room and makes sure that all of us who become Pilates professionals are well trained, well educated, and hopefully know what we're doing. So if you are in the Pilates field and you're considering this, I highly recommend you get with Cheryl because she will school you in lots of ways. But we invited Cheryl today to talk to us from a health perspective, as not just as a master trainer in Pilates, but as someone who has been in the field for a really long time and who has some insights into fitness and wellness. Before she was with Balanced Body, she was already in the fitness field, and so she's got droves of experience, and we thought she might just shed some light on some things today regarding staying healthy. And so, Cheryl, thanks for being here.
Thank you for inviting me.
You're very welcome. So I thought maybe I would kind of break the ice with the first question that I have that I thought might be valuable for anybody who might be looking at this Zoom meeting. And that is when it comes to the principles of Pilates, we have our 9 guiding principles. And we know that there are a few that might stand out when it comes to staying healthy right now regarding the spread of the COVID virus. So could you expound on 1 or 2 of our Pilates principles and maybe tell us how employing those principles in someone's life could help someone stay healthy?
Oh, I would love to. The Pilates principles are not only applicable to Pilates or any type of movement, exercise, but generally they apply to life. And I think that's why Joseph Pilates put them together. I like to think of the bookends, the very first one, which is breathing, and the very last one, which is relaxation. And I say that because I feel like they bookend everything into the middle. So I'm going to start a little bit with the breathing, while I think that's somewhat important for everything we do. With breathing, he said it was the first act of life and also our last, and it's such an important piece of keeping us healthy. With breathing, not only from a physical aspect does it help us get more oxygen if we breathe correctly, get more oxygen into our lungs and our body, we can get more waste out. It gives us more energy. It also helps us be more mindful. And so when I talk about bookends between breathing and relaxation, it's that mindfulness that starts with breathing that really applies to every other principle or any movement in life. When we are mindful, our bodies work much more efficiently, they work at ease, and we can rid some anxiety out of our life and tension that stays into our bodies. With the breath, and the Pilates breath is a very, very deep breathing. And I think of everything going on today and how we're dealing with all of the media, all of the anxiety of maybe working from home, having children at home, and working from home, and having husbands at home.
Do you see Jana shaking her head?
Okay, so all of that adds pieces of anxiety to us. And we need those moments through the day, at least in the beginning and the end, to really do some nice, thoughtful, deep breathing. And it isn't just hyperventilating or breathing a lot or in and out of our mouth, but taking those slow, long breaths. Lolita San Miguel, which is one of Joe Pilates' first generation teachers, talks about how long can you take an inhale? 1, and then how long can you exhale? And the longer that you practice that, your lungs expand, your ribs expand, and it just changes everything in your body besides mindfulness. And you do a couple of sets of those and you can go to sleep pretty well too. So it helps you relax. But, you know, we don't breathe well, I think, normally in life. And when we have all the anxiety that's going on today, guess what? We're even holding our breath at times, and we don't realize it. So taking those moments just at the beginning or the end of the day to get some thoughtful breathing will help retrain our neuromuscular system and our brain to maybe breathe better throughout the day when anxiety hits. Now, and the other piece of that is relaxation, because you really can't relax without breathing, right? So if you think about somebody laying down who can't sleep, or somebody sits down and tries to relax and they can't, and you'll find that they're probably not breathing properly and can't find a way to get rid of the anxiety and tension in their body. So for me, breathing is the link for everything, and it really connects the mind and body together.
That's fantastic insight. Jana, did you have any comments about breathing?
No, what was going through my mind when you were speaking, Cheryl, is that I'm hoping that when we come out of this, you know, as a global community and specifically as a nation, that folks will think about exercise a little bit differently. I mean, we all approach it from a therapeutic point of view. A lot of times that is not embraced on a mass level. It's more about, you know, the before and after pictures, the big sweat, no, you know, if you better be crying or it's not worth the workout, not being gentle, and there's no focus on the breathing. And one thing COVID-19 has brought to our attention is our lung health. And there are certain practices, specifically Pilates and yoga, you know, and some of the other approaches that are out there that focus on breathing. And I'm so happy that we're having this conversation now, because it's been out there in the fringes and kind of seen as not true exercise. And with what we're facing as a nation right now, it's one of the best exercises we could be doing. So I'm happy that you're here to talk about it.
Yes. Well, you know, I tell all of my clients that Pilates or any mind-body exercise should not be the only, they should not think of it as that main exercise, that it is movement to help them be all that they want to be and practice the sport they want to practice. So if you're going to lift weights, if you learn to breathe properly and you can follow some of those principles, you'll have better quality in your movement. You won't stress body parts that should not be overcompensating. You will perform better if you're a runner, if you're a tennis player, if you're a golfer, because at the end of the day, our body is built to move correctly. But when we don't even start by breathing right, guess what? It doesn't. And our bodies are known, it's going to take the least path of resistance and take shortcuts if we don't supply the highway for it, if that makes sense. And to me, breathing makes that happen. And one insight, I have a senior class that I work with, and right now, of course, we're not meeting with them. I meet with them at the Jewish Center every Monday. And I would say the average age is in the 70s. I have 50 to 55 people every Monday. And I do a chair, sit and fit, and we do standing work. But my primary focus on proper breathing, posture, and breathing and breathing. And over the 5 years I've been teaching it now, they have numerous have come up to me where they've gone to the hospital and they're out from pneumonia in no time. They can get up out of a chair. They ask them, how are you doing this? Because we can't let you loose unless you loose out of the hospital until you can get up out of the chair, breathe properly. And they go, it's my chair Pilates I take every Monday. And so teaching them, I mean, I had a 94-year-old come up to me 2 weeks ago before we closed, and she said, you've just helped me so much. Now I want to work on my neck alignment. And I'm like, okay, we'll do that next. So, yeah, so when I see that population really recognizing the benefits, if we can get the entire population to realize the importance of it, it's just going to be so much better for their health and how they feel and how they cope with life.
Oh man, that is so true. And what great stories to share. I mean, real testimonials are the proof of the pudding, right? So yes. That is so Great.
Well, one of the questions, I mean, Cheryl, you obviously have quite an experience. You teach Pilates in other formats, it sounds like. One of the burning questions that I've had, and Anna and I were talking about this yesterday, and I'd love your perspective on this, is that right now we have potential consumers out there who are going to be new to exercise, or maybe they have to transition how they exercise because of our current situation. And there's a lot being offered out there right now. How, as an end consumer, do you know that you're getting the best advice you can? There's a lot of free yoga, a lot of free Pilates, a lot of free going on out there. I don't want to see people get hurt during this time. So what advice would you give them, Cheryl, about finding the legit source that can guide them while they're exercising from home, since we can't be together anymore for a couple of weeks?
So if I understand your question, how do you tell the consumer that maybe one of those classes you're taking is safe?
How do we help them? Yeah, how do we help empower them to know that they're picking a safe class for them?
Well, you know, I think that goes back to just if you're still doing a physical class. You have to tell them what your credentials are and what your goals are for them to take away. We made some YouTube videos on Saturday, and I was telling our owner, I said, Vicki, we don't need to make these hour-long workouts. Most people are not going to work at home in an hour. They're not going to do it. You can make a beautiful video, and they're going to get up and get up. Give them something that's going to benefit them. If it's 20, 30-minute snippets, focus on a subject. Maybe it's, hey, we're going to do this, and we're going to focus on breathing, small movement, get you to relax. We did a 20-minute doing that. Then we did one using toys, and we did some mat Pilates. And then we did a roller. And then I did a bar. So just giving them the snippets to get them to feel like, I can do this. I can be successful and safe. And while they're teaching it, talk about the safety aspects. Mm-hmm. You know, because if you're just teaching the exercise, you think about teaching a class. How many people are actually listening to you and follow that alignment, right? So you want to be able to talk to them now. This is what I'm looking for. Are you in check? Are your legs aligned? Are you breathing? And is your pelvis quiet? So maybe not a lot, but a couple of cues that they can understand and check on themselves. Instead of, okay, get down, let's lift one leg up and extend the leg. And we're going to do single leg stretch. And one, and breathe, and two, and breathe. Because the person who hasn't had the quality, maybe they're probably even people who have taken classes for a long time, are just going to move. They're not going to move maybe safely. Mm-hmm. I don't know if that answers your question, but I would start out by saying, here's the goal of the workout. Here is our credentials, and this is what we want you to take away. And you know what? If you need more, we'll have another small one for you where you can take it up a notch. But I've taught mat for 19 years, and you can bring anybody in the class, and you just try to teach them a series of 5, and who knows what you're going to see, right?
Right.
So putting it on a video and having them watch from home, that's a little scary. You know, so why do that? Mm-hmm. Give them what they can do. Proper bridging, maybe some nice ab curls, some nice toe taps and marching and breath, and maybe a half roll down, something that they can feel good about and go, I felt good after that. It wasn't like I felt like I was out of my scope. And mm-hmm. You may then win them over as a client when the time is over at the end, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I think to summarize, for the consumer who's out there trying to find a way to exercise while they're at home, is check the credentials of the person who's teaching the class. Right. When you're taking the class, are they giving you verbal cues for alignment and, or, you know, more than just do 5 setups, they're telling you what to do. And then to understand that, you know, it's not a time to maybe try an hour-long, really intense class you've never done with somebody watching you. Like, take it in little nuggets. And that would be a great approach to have. Well, hopefully, while people are hermiting at home, we are triggering them to want to move their bodies more. And this might be a great way to get them into the studio. So, great, thank you.
Yeah. Exactly. And if, you know, there's other marketing pieces behind that, not just for the wellness, but if you decide to put some classes out there as maybe a charge fee, I just saw one master instructor put one out for $39 a month for unlimited, whatever was out there and they put out. So it depends. If you want to do it free, fine. But if you charge, then maybe if they come to your studio after it's all over with, you give them an intro package because they used your system, right?
Right.
Online during this time.
Yeah.
And you want to have a connection with them of some way. If that makes sense.
And this is what Jana and I are really focusing on, is making sure that our local community that may or may not even know us yet understand that our allied professionals are the people that continue to feed into our lives. So we are giving our community the best of what we can give through the people that we are allied with, which is why we wanted you to address our community. We think it's very important. And then that is the piece of the professionals staying connected with each other and making sure that we're doing the best by our communities. And then part two of that is also the piece of the instructor, the Pilates teacher, the corrective exercise specialist. In Jana's case, she's allied very closely with someone that we'll be talking with next week as well, Dr. Asar out of Chicago, wonderful mentor as well. And we want people to know that not just where we come from, but that staying connected is critical. And for us personally, each one of us who is a teacher, who is an instructor, who is a coach, that's great on that level. But what about us staying connected with our clients? What if our clients are fearful of, what's going on? And I understand the fear reaction. I kind of vacillate between, oh my goodness, I just heard this information, and then kind of dealing with that flight or fight reaction, to what we might hear. And I think our clients need to feel good about staying connected. And why is that connection so important?
Well, I think you're an absolute. I have quite a few clients. I probably have about 30 clients a week, and then I have quite a few classes. And every other day I'm sending a text. And I'm like, hi, how you doing? How are you doing your homework? Specific to them, checking in on you and your family, depending on what they've got, what I know is going on in their lives. Just wanted to check in, stay well. And I send them a prayer emoji. And I get back, all kinds of stuff. One gal sent me a text back, said, well, I had to color and cut my own hair. Who knows what I'm going to look like when this is over. But there is a discussion and a connection there. I had one today. She's an 87-year-old client of mine who travels all over the world. And I said, just checking in. How are you doing? Are you staying put? Because she likes to go. She says, I am put. She says, I have a daughter-in-law who's a cardiologist in New York that has contracted the virus. Please pray for her. And so I sent her a note back. So each one there's a short note that's personal, and they're responding like they're just hungry for connection. So there's nothing wrong with that. I don't think nobody has said, leave me alone, or never answered. They all answer me back with what's happening. The doctor from Mayo, he sent me a note back, and he says, yeah, I'm just trying to keep myself out of as much except the hospital because he has a 90-year-old mother that lives with him. And so they just want to talk, if that makes sense.
Sure.
Through some media. And I have some that still want to see me, some in their homes, some of them one-on-one, and I'll be there for them. Whatever you need, let me know. And I tell them, if you need anything, just send me a note. I will video me doing it for you so you can do it, unless you need me there. And they laugh. But it keeps them engaged, and also I think it kind of puts them out there. They know they have to keep up with the work that they've invested in at this point, right? Yeah.
That's a good point. What about you, Jana, and staying connected with your clients? How do you feel about all that?
Oh, I agree with everything she was saying. Well, no, I mean, my mind is wondering too, this is a great conversation amongst instructors, but if somebody's watching this who is a one of our consumers, one of our clients or patients, what I hope they're hearing from this is how much people actually care. When you have an exercise professional that is well trained, that we're actually part of your wellness team. And all of us here on the Zoom call doing our wonderful social distancing right now, we work with a team of doctors, we work with physical therapists or occupational therapists, and that what I'm hoping for our industry after COVID-19 is over is that we will now be the next people to go into the front lines. Like right now, we need our medical staff there. There'll be people like us who are going to be in the front lines next, making sure everybody is feeling safe when they leave their homes, that they're getting rid of the tension and the gripping that's happening in their bodies. And if somebody's listening to this who is not an instructor, I hope you are hearing like how much we actually care, and that even though we're not in that gym with you right now, we're thinking about you right now.
Yes.
So I think I'm getting kind of emotional.
Well,
but no, it's true.
Yeah, we're part of their life.
Mm-hmm.
That's what keeps a connection, even one-on-one when you're working with them, but being away from them. You become a part of who they are, and you're their support system. And quite honestly, they're our support system, right?
Agreed.
I mean, if you think of it, they are part of we become a family. And I just thoroughly believe that if they know that, they just know. Now I'll have some and they'll go, all right, I got this nerve thing. I said, it's out of my scope. You need to go see your doctor. They go, but you help me. No, go see your doctor.
Yes. Oh, yeah, for sure. Maintaining that connection is really important. I have one of my clients that I'm super concerned about because she's just kind of, put the hold on everything. And I do want all of my clients to know how much I love them. And, and it's hard when we can't, we're so used to cueing manually with our fingers. And right now we can't even touch our own faces. Right. I mean, I'm sitting on my hands, except I did let it out to do that. And then I'm putting it back. So, it's hard not to be with people personally as much as we would like, but we do love them. And I don't think any of us would do what we do if we didn't have a calling or a passion for people and for the people that, the universe brings to us. So, yeah. So thank you for your comments on that. I think it's really important. I was thinking about one more thing, and then maybe just the benefits of maybe even switching up what you're doing right now, exercising outdoors. One of the doctors, or both of the doctors that we just spoke to on a Zoom call that will be also aired on our website is really emphasized vitamin D. And, she was pretty clear to say, look, you don't have to don't slather yourself in sunscreen. Get outside and let your body absorb the vitamin D and vitamin C. Just get outside and get some of that and get breathy. So switching it up. I know you said something about that in the very beginning, but I'd like you to talk just for one more minute about that and how important it is just to move, even if it's walking outdoors, whatever you might choose to switch things up.
Yes, I think at this point we need to, and we're very lucky because we are in the South, and I'm seeing some of the spring is starting to pop up around the rest of the country. But when we have sunshine, and we have fresh air, we really need to take advantage of it. We need to be outside if it's walking down the block. Even though we may have to be isolated in our homes, it's really social distancing. It doesn't mean we should be holed up inside of a house. If you have a beautiful backyard, just walking back and forth. My husband hit some golf balls in the backyard yesterday. I said, get out and get some sun. It's interesting if we look at history and the pandemic of 1918, which was the Spanish flu named, that they found in some of the research that once they put patients, but they had them in tents, once they got the patients in sunshine and fresh air, they improved at a much better rate. The other correlation is Joseph Pilates put his method together about this same time in 1918. He was an inmate at the Isle of Man, and he was in charge of another group of inmates. And this was kind of like the beginning of this creation of movement principles. And he created the first piece of equipment. He had his people outside exercising. No one in his group got sick. And after they were all let go, that's when the German army came to him and wanted him to train the German soldiers. And he said no and came to the United States. It was really interesting because now we're talking about movement and breathing, but also fresh air and sunshine. We're like plants and flowers. We need to have that, they need to have the photosynthesis happen in the leaves. Well, we need oxygen and vitamin D. And taking vitamin D in a vitamin form is okay, but you need sunlight. You need sunshine and at least 15 minutes a day. Not only is it going to be better for our whole body, but it's better for our bones. And especially with a lot of clients, our bone density continues to decline. And if we're not moving, it's going to decline even faster because walking in itself is a bone density builder, right? Mm-hmm. So we need sunshine, we need walk, we need to get the bones moving so that we don't decline and let the body kind of fall apart some foundational pieces of our body, like bones. Mm-hmm. But definitely get outside and no sunscreen. My doctor told me from Mayo, probably 5 or 6 years ago, and I was a little low on vitamin D. I was working in an office, and he says, you're borderline. He says, I want you to get outside. He said, now my wife is a dermatologist, and she would kill me if I said this. He said, don't put sunscreen on. Get out 15 minutes. Your body will absorb more vitamin D than you taking a pill. And I brought up the bone density because they're looking at bone density and the decline and the density, but also we're seeing osteoporosis in younger people. And a lot of it's because they're not outside walking, playing, or getting sunshine.
Very interesting. Yeah.
ACE had a big article about it a few years ago. So definitely we need to walk, get a little sunshine, even if it's around the backyard right now. Mm-hmm. So our bodies can be healthy. And you mentioned changing up workouts. Yeah, do something fun and different. And there is nothing wrong with turning on the radio and just dancing around the house for 5 minutes. It'll make us feel better. That's exercise, right?
Oh, yeah. Jana, you were talking about Elon doing a dance thing for his PE one day or something, because you're homeschooling right now, right?
Yeah, I was actually going to ask both of you that. I think that the problem you mentioned earlier, the stress of being at home, like your entire family trying to work and homeschool. And guess what? PE is kind of there, but not really. At least for my kid, I'm sure every school's approaching it differently. But that's a big problem for a lot of parents, though. Is what do we do to get our kids active? Now, do you guys, Anna, you raised 4 kids. Cheryl, I don't know if you've raised kids, but you've been in the business for a long time. Maybe there's some ideas we could put out there for the moms who are struggling with, how do I minimize screen time? Because let's think about it. Our kids just went from sitting all day long, at least interacting with people, to sitting all day long in front of a screen for 8 hours a day. Okay, they might get a 10-minute break to get up to get a snack. And by the way, they're all really close to their fridge now, so they're all eating more. What can we do as fitness professionals, to help inspire families to get out and move together? Get simple ideas. When a mom's trying to type away, can't just be go swim. Somebody has to watch the kids. So, you guys have any ideas to share?
I will share one, and then I'll let Cheryl share. But I was really thinking. Thank you for asking. I was really thinking about this because as you know, we have 2 grandchildren, and I'm sending stuff to my daughter all the time, saying, "Hey, try this with the kids, try that with the kids, and let me know how they like it." Or so one of the things is literally to get out and if you have a bike or a scooter or you're just walk in the neighborhood, that every park bench you find, stop and do a plank challenge with your family. So it can be just an incline plank at the park bench, or if you have tennis courts in your neighborhood, do a sprint from one end of the tennis court to the other, stop and do 3 jumping jacks, and then sprint to the next corner and do stop and 3 more jumping jacks. Like, make a game out of it. Or if it's just sidewalks, maybe you don't have, you know, those kinds of things. Use sidewalk chalk and do some hopscotch, you know. Or maybe you make a game, like if you do sidewalk chalk and you write down, you know, the numbers 1 through 10 on different colors of sidewalk chalk. Well, every time you jump on the number 1, you have to do a wiggle. And number 2, every time you jump on the number 2, you need to stand on 1 foot and clap your hands 3 times, you know, whatever it is. Like, make up games, like, you know, challenges that are fun. I don't know. I just think, you know, you can combine the getting outdoors with something practical and something fun, and a kind of laugh and giggle. And of course, if you have a pet and you can let the pet go in the backyard. My grandchildren were doing this the other day. They were going a little stir crazy. And my daughter puts the dog in the backyard and they start running. And of course, the dog is Puppy. And so the puppy is chasing them and they're giggling and having fun. And the whole family is out there doing that. And guess what they're doing? They're running.
Yeah, they're running. They're exercising and laughing.
Right.
So I guess it depends too about how old the kids are. I have a grandson who's 10, and I'm kind of lucky in a way because he's really creative on playing outside, even though he's a bookworm and he loves the computer. But when he comes over, we're like, no computer. And we let him make up games outside, and he comes up with like all kinds of. He loves dodgeball. He'll create these games and put things around the backyard. He'll have a friend over or a cousin. And they're hide and seek. He's a hide and seek freak. Right now, you guys have some nice warm weather. Is it warm?
It is warm.
It's warm here. So what's wrong with getting a hose out with water and getting their swimsuits and run around the yard right now and getting warm and wet, because that's fun. Now, you may have a mess to clean up, but they're going to exercise and they're going to run around and they're going to get some sunshine, and it'll get them out of your hair. Now, again, who knows what it'll look like when it's done, but it's going to be fun for them. But I would have a contest among the ones that, you know, depending on their age, and say, okay, everybody gets to make up a game today, and then we're going to see what those games are, and then we'll play each one, and there'll be a winner of that, whoever thinks is the best game, and then you have a prize, and then you have a dance party at the end of the day. So just trying to change things up for them is also important, I think. Try to find something different, but let them find what they want, because they'll be really creative if you let them.
Well, I think dodgeball, family dodgeball, may be the winner. I'm thinking a lot of tension that you have in the household. You just take it out.
He loves dodgeball. I'm telling you. Yeah.
Maybe we'll use balloons instead so nobody gets hurt, because we can't afford to take anybody to the ER right now. But it could be good therapy for the entire family. Those are great ideas. Thank you, ladies.
Well, thank you so much, Cheryl, for joining Jana and I. And I can't tell you how nice it is to see you again on the screen. And I look forward to seeing you in person. We both do. And thank you for addressing the community on some of these really important topics. And we hope everyone is very encouraged by what they heard and has some great ideas. So yeah, thank you so much.
You are welcome, and thank you so much for inviting me. And if you guys need anything, don't hesitate. I'm just a text away. Okay?
Thank you.
So much. It was nice meeting you.
Nice to meet you. Bye. You guys have a great afternoon.
Bye.